welcome to Thursday live lessons here on Ukulele Underground. My name is Aldrin Guerrero, joined by Mr. Aaron, the voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
Mr. Kahai, the legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
Hello, everyone. We are live. It's 1 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. We are live, and this is definitely the first time we're doing this today. Right, gentlemen? Definitely the first Thursday live lesson that we've done today.
I don't know why you would point it out. So
just
weird.
saying, you know,
Such a weird aside.
But I will predict. I have a prediction. I'm gonna be wearing the same shirt like next week Thursday. I just feel.
Or
I think
next week.
next week. Is it next week? Not next week.
It's because it lines up with your like laundry schedule.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
I'm just
rotation.
thinking that I'm gonna do laundry on a Wednesday, and I'm gonna wear the same shirt on one of the next podcasts. So I know that sounds weird now, but you guys will get it on the 25th. So. What's up, everyone? Here on Thursday Live Lesson, what we do here is we answer any and all of your questions via the email, via the live chat, via UU+. Any way that we can get them, we'll try to answer them for you. We'll try to collectively put our brains together and come up with the best answer as we can. So Aaron is going to be, helping me out. He's going to be on the live chat as well. So if you guys, go on the live chat, Aaron Nakamura and Kahai is actually going to be on the chat as well, but Kahai is going to be reading off the questions. We're going to contemplate, then we're going to talk about them and try to give the best answer. So Kahai, hit me with the first question.
It's from George?
Jorge. It's a George?
Different George.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. So he said, hi guys, is there any technique I can use as a low G player to still get ghost notes when playing chord solos to fatten up the song? Thanks. Or he said George.
Okay. There is, because you can use ghost notes regardless if you have a high G or not. You can use can you see your low G ukulele? So here's a low G ukulele right here. If I were to do, ghost notes, say for example, if I'm playing Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. B minor. Here's my thumb that's about to do the ghost notes. Watch carefully. I'll do it slow for those people who didn't catch it. So I did a roll G chunk down, up chunk up down, a roll G chunk down, up chunk up down, a roll G chunk down. So you can kind of, use the low G. You can use any note. Let's use the C string. So here we go. That one was less subtle. Because I was trying to put it in more places, but if you just keep it, at like just... it's not so obvious, but you can use any string, any note that you want as your ghost note, because all it is really you're trying to put a note there that, and trying to make it sound like it's not there, but it's there to just kind of take up space. So if I were to do something like down, up, chunk, down, that first down is kind of a long down strum. So, in order to make that note a little bit longer and to put something in there, I can follow that up with a G. See what I did? So instead of just going G, up, chunk, up, down, it goes G. So I added that thumb with the low G right before I did the up chunk. So down, G, up, chunk, up, down. Down, G, up, chunk, up, down. Of course, it's a lot. Not a lot, but a little bit more movement than than the normal strumming pattern. But with that, you can actually use it as any as whatever ghost note that you need it for. Okay, but as far as picking wise, you can use the low G as well. So if you're doing chord melodies like you're saying, you can still use that. So if I'm doing Aloha Oe, I forgot the ending or something like that. But as you notice, I was still using the low G and it was still fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in C. I was like,
that's why. But yeah, I think with with low G, you just gotta be extra ghosty with it.
Extra ghosty. It will stick out like a sore thumb if you don't.
Yeah,
So,
just don't play it hard. I mean, ghost notes you aren't supposed to play the note hard anyway, but
yeah. Ghosts don't like to be noticed.
Yeah, but I think if you have a wound low G, even more so, you have to really hit it super light, or else it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like, because it's supposed to be felt but not heard necessarily, right? So
Yeah, just kind of fill up the space, but it's not like a melody line. It's not anything.
Yeah, it's filler. Really is what it is. So what I'm doing is I'm not thinking about it and just hitting the G, because if I'm thinking about what note I'm hitting with the G, that's when it gets a little bit complicated. Because I'm playing chords, or even in chord melody, because you're playing chords, you can pretty much hit the G anytime, or the C anytime, or the E anytime, or the A anytime, and it'll be the correct notes as long as you're playing the right chord.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think
just practice your volume, and
when you play a normal ghost notes anyways, you use the pad of your thumb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't use your nail. So that's definitely like something you should be doing anyways, but if you're using your nail, like try not to. Like try to use your pad and try to soften it up as much as you can.
Well, I mean, with anything, unless you're like you're doing picking, then I would kind of use the pad of my thumb anyway. Like when I strum, when I do those things, I'm using the regular pad of my thumb. Unless I want, I want to have those notes heard, like in a picking, then I'll use I'll use the nail.
I think another problem people have with ghost notes, or they ask us, is like, you said I can add ghost notes and I can add strumming and stuff, but where do I add it? And for that, you just you need to learn the song first, right? Like you learn the strumming of the song first, and just learn like down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, or learn to get the pulse. Mm-hmm. And ghost notes work pretty well on like down strums or like following kind of that same pattern too. So
just like with using Aloha Oi again as an example, instead of going so because those notes Aloha Oi are are kind of slow, and there's few notes in between of that. You can pretty much strum that and still get those melody line notes and strum chords at the same time. So on that down strum, when Kahai was saying that it's easy to kind of get the chords on the down strum, so get that down strum, and then you can add like little embellishments in between, or ghost notes. So I just went as simple as to just like kind of tap on the G string like this. They're not supposed to stand out or do anything other than to fill up some empty space. Because if I just went, while it's effective, it has the chords with the with the notes and with the melody notes. It's there's parts in between where like you're just kind of gasping for air or gasping for some kind of where's the note? Where's the note? There's a lot of that anticipation, but if you give them some ghost notes, it lets the audience kind of brace themselves when that note is coming in, instead of just the note will come in whenever the player feels like the note's going to be coming in. It
kind of helps you feel the beat, like where the beat is underneath everything.
So you don't even have to do it like that. You can be a little bit less subtle. You know, you can do like actual like notes and stuff if you want to do that. Calico of fond embrace. I love that song, and I suck that I didn't remember the ending the first time. Oh man, it's been a while. Sorry, Kahea. So yeah, next question.
That was like the only pre-question we had for that week.
So you know, I have gotten a lot of questions about like chord melodies and stuff, and kind of how you get started with that. So we did, you know, create a seminar, you know, based on chord melodies. It's called Deconstructing Chord Melodies. And the song that we did for Songs Made Easy last week, Happy Birthday, was done on as a chord melody song. So if you guys want to learn how to do chord melodies, please check out Deconstructing Chord Melodies over on UU Plus, and you can learn how to play the melody, how to highlight that melody, and how to come up with with the backup chords so that you have the chorus and the melody line, and it's nice and it grooves. Groove is pretty important.
Yeah, the way we've been teaching solos recently, right, is where you play the chords behind the melody and stuff. So people, and the idea is that people learn that first, and then they fill in with the melody line.
Yeah.
And I think like that's kind of one of the things that we've seen a lot of people kind of skip is like they go like, oh, but I want to learn like the fancy way first, right? I want to learn how when you do the play along, I want to play that like that way. And it's like, well, if you do that, you're kind of like missing steps. Like you really do need to see where down strums are going to go, where the pulse of the beat is supposed to be, and what the feel of the song is supposed to be. So like and then when you learn that, then it's like, your thumb is like already there. So it's like so easy to just be like, oh yeah, like why don't I just pluck this G string, or why don't I just do this? It is just like, I feel like it's more natural to learn it that way than trying to force it from the beginning.
And I tell people to kind of look at and listen to like a lot of good examples, like not just the stuff that we do on the UU Plus solos. I guess you could watch the play along and kind of get an idea of how those things sound. But if you guys want to listen to like masters, like doing that kind of chord melody thing, one of the best ones that I've seen that does that kind of like just simple notes with simple chords and stuff, nothing too fancy. So nothing like Benny, like nothing like Uncle Benny or anything like that. But Herb Walter Jr. actually, he's like the man when it comes to like simple melodies and chords behind them and stuff. He's actually really, really, really good. I don't know if you guys heard any of his tunes, but his version of Europa, beautiful. Like it's in I believe it's in D minor, and it's no, not D minor, maybe A minor. I think it's in A minor, but really like one of the best versions of of Europa on a solo ukulele that I've ever heard. So if, for those people that like that is like, oh, I want to learn Europa and stuff, like maybe one of these days I'll do like a U Plus solo on that version, because I love that version. The version that we have over in Ukulele Underground is in D minor, and that's like the Pure Heart version that I learned a while back. But I would like to see if I can get the green light to do that A minor version. And that's the one that like so whenever you hear say Brittany Paiva play that, that's actually Herb Walter Jr.'s version of Europa. But he's really good. So listen to him. Of course, Ota-san, like the original, he does really great like romantic style kind of ukulele, and he's put out like how many albums back then. He's got so much. So there's
I think it's just a matter of being able to take the song, the original song, and distill it down to something that is
ukulele can do.
Very ukulele like. It takes the essence of the ukulele and makes that sing through the ukulele.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, like Daniel Ho's good at it too. Like just very simple melody with the chords in the background. That guy won a Grammy for a reason. It's because of that. He knows how to create simple melody that gets stuck. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then go listen yourself to some Pineapple Mango. Like that song is so simple in terms of like notes and stuff and what chords in the background, but you best believe you're gonna be like dun 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 dun, like at the end, you're like
humming it later on that day.
Dun 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 dun, and that's it. Like that's basically the whole song, But like it's so good. It's those things that like these masters know how to take something so simple, but yet present it in a way that's like, man, that sounds really, really awesome and really beautiful. So those, for me, are some of my favorites. Herb Alpert Jr. right now is killing the game with some beautiful, really, nice melody lines. Okay, his version of like Nada So is worldly popular. I think like everyone in Japan like plays that particular version of Nada So. Europa, things like I believe he did My Yellow Ginger Lay. Also, he did like Hello No Honolulu. That's another great one. Of course, G Minor Fleas. That's one of my favorite songs that Herb Alpert Jr. Composed and stuff. I play that in the shows sometimes and stuff. But yeah, just a genius with melody lines, and his attack is so clean, and then like his ukulele tone is so rich that I would highly suggest Herb Alpert Jr. As far as chord melodies goes, like that style of playing, check him out. Of course we got other guys like Kimohashi, like all these, but they tend to do more like jazzy kind of stuff, which is still chord melody, but if we're talking just simple, pure, like melody and chord and then groove, like those are the guys that I would listen to. I think
it's kind of what you were talking about, where the ukulele arrangement has to be a compromise between, like everything that the song has in the original and what your ukulele should and could do. I think those artists are the best at striking that compromise.
We talked before about like Uncle Brian, right?
Yeah.
And how like when he plays with somebody else, he knows the exact way to add a little bit, but not overtake the song where it's like, oh, I only hear ukulele now. And I think those guys, they know how to like, they do, it's like a really good balancing act of doing chords and melody and then making sure that both are heard equally or like in the appropriate times, right?
And I'm glad you said that because Uncle Brian and Herb Alpert Jr. have a CD together. It's called
Brian Tolentino.
Brian Tolentino. And Herb Alpert Jr. has has maybe 2 CDs even. Like they do have a CD together, and it's actually really good. They have G Minor Fleas, and like they re-recorded it and had Jake do a third verse. So it's like Herb Alpert, Brian Tolentino, Jake Shimabukuro on G Minor Fleas on that album. It's awesome.
So, I guess there's two. There's Ukulele Friends and then Ukulele Friends the sequel.
Sounds like something Uncle Brian would do. The sequel.
Something that they would.
But yeah, it's like one of the some of the best like I would say strikers in the ukulele game, because like the way that they attack the instrument is so calculated and so pure that I like drool over like their tone, their ukulele tone. But it's like those slow tunes. Like I really want that like rich tone that that Herb Alpert Jr. has. I drool over it every time I listen to it.
So that's like another thing too. You're talking about like how Aloha Oi and some other, or when you do ghost notes and when you do strumming and stuff, it's to fill in those voids, but you should also definitely not like just immediately go to filling in every empty space, right? Because like Europa, right? Like having that opening of the da da da, like having that like each note get its full time, and not have anything else is like, oh, you feel the impact of that. Yeah. So it kind of is like, I mean, with the solos and everything, we teach you like the basics, and then we'd say, you can do whatever you want. And yeah, it really is up to you, but definitely maybe consider that, like, consider when it might be too much, or when, you know, you can add a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
So, and those guys, like, they do it perfectly. They're not gonna do it where it's like, oh, that's weird. Why would they put all of that there? So,
okay, yeah. Is there any other question?
No,
oh yeah, that's right. You already said. Any question from the chat?
Our chat is kind of like, they came in, and I hopefully they're still there and they're watching, but they're not like talking a lot. So we'll see.
Yeah, the chat's there, so you guys can ask us questions on the chat and stuff. But I remember, you know, way back then when I was like really into like listening to CDs and like and figuring stuff out. Herb Volta Jr. came up with you know, with one of, like, I think it's called the Ukulele Dream. Like, that album was you know, was really good. I don't know if that was the first. No, that wasn't the one with G Minor Fleas, but I remember that CD being really well. That might have been the one with like Still the One. That's Herb Volta Jr. I've been listening for a long time. He came to Kauai one time, and I just like, oh my god, he's right there on the Kukui Grove stage. Like, I could go and touch him and stuff. And it was like in high school, and yeah, I like fanboyed out. I remember, and he's like, "Oh, right now," but he's like a very,
or is it Ukulele Journey?
Journey, yeah, Journey. Yeah, if anyone has ever met like Herb and stuff, Herb is very quiet, very like collected. So it's kind of hard to read him as a fan. You know, as a fan, like I kind of came up. It's like, oh my god, I'm like the biggest fan. So I'm like, you know, in high school, I'm very hyper and stuff. I'm very excited about the ukulele, and he's like, that's cool.
He
like,
doesn't.
Thank you.
He doesn't show. Yeah, he doesn't. His emotions on his face.
Exactly. And I was like, I'm such a big fan. You know, like if you could time like see you, that'd be great. Like, oh, so how this song? How do you? He's like,
I think,
man, thank you. Like, listening.
Well, like
I'll take your CD.
And it's not like it's not like he's doing that.
No, he's not trying to be rude or anything.
Yeah,
that's just how he is. I learned.
In comparison to like people like Jake, right? Where if you were like, "Oh, I'm such a big fan," he'd be like, "Oh, thank you," like
giving you a hug and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so happy you enjoy it.
No one's. I don't know if he's giving people hugs or like that. Not saying that he's rude or he's whatever. Like, you know,
he's not
he's
that
awesome.
guy.
He's an awesome dude. But yeah, he's not that guy. From what I've learned anyway, he's not that guy. So you know, every time I see him and stuff, like he goes like, "Oh, Andre, how's it going, man? How's ukulele on the ground? How are you?" Like it's kind of like our conversations. You know, it's like things are good, man. Things are good. Things are good, Herb. And that's it. I don't know if I've had like an actual full conversation with her about it, like
other than through ukulele.
Exactly. You know, like we've had like lunch together and stuff, but I don't know if we've actually engaged in like a full conversation where we like got into things. But no, it's just like simple hi, bye, how's life, how's whatever.
That's how he expresses himself. Is through ukulele.
Through uke.
Yeah.
But cool guy, you know, cool guy. Yeah. Have you met Herb, right?
Yeah. Well, just at NAMM, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when we were in.
What's your experience with Herb Volta Jr.?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't really had too many interactions with him.
Did you try to be like, "Hey, I'm Aaron. Like, I heard we play G Minor Fleas."
No, because I'm also the same. Where like, you know,
oh, you don't.
I don't. Unless somebody is like really gonna interact with me, then I don't go out of my way.
So you don't go giving out hugs
with
or anything.
I think. Yeah.
Well, I'm willing to give hugs. It's just that like I don't go up to people and be like,
I'm gonna get a message from Herb now. I was like, "What? I like hugs, Aldrine. Why would you say that on your podcast?"
I'm a hug monster. I think. Well, like when we used to go to NAMM, I know like the only person who I like actively seek out and like hug was like Mim.
Yeah, okay.
Because like Mim, right? Like she is like that person who will be like, "Oh my gosh," and she'll run up to you and hug you first if you don't hug her. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
She'll yell at you from across the room. Like,
but hey. I'm not gonna go up to like Casey Kamaka, be like, "Hey Casey, oh man, it's great to see you again."
Casey,
where's my bring it in,
Casey, bring it in.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. So
You know, you don't go around doing that. Why not, man?
I don't know.
I'm
just a grouchy old man. I'm just a grouchy old man.
Do you know when Herb Otto Jr. switched to Kamaka? Because I put the links to Ukulele Friends and Ukulele Friends, the sequel. And in the first one, he's playing a Ko Aloha.
The second one.
And the second one, he's playing
It was shortly after Ukulele Friends, the first one came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
It's because Brian made it, got him to switch or something.
I remember Uncle Brian used to tell me because he got invited to collaborate with with Herb Otto on that first G minor fleas, first take of G minor fleas, and with that. He was telling me that Herb just told me to meet him at Kapiolani Park and let's go work this out. I think I got this. I think I got G minor, C minor, D7. Let's make something with G minor, C minor, and D7. And they said that they wrote that song in an afternoon at Kapiolani, and then they go, okay, I'm gonna do this, and Herb's like, okay, I'm gonna do this then. Okay, cool, let's record it, and then we recorded it, and it was all good. I'm like, wow, it's an awesome story because I still play that song to this day.
Well, I mean, when you have high level players like that, it's kind of and they're able to riff off of each other. Oh, it's pretty easy to get really good ideas pretty quickly.
That's my favorite part. That's Brian Tolentino right there. I'm just a huge fanboy, just like everyone else. Actually, you know what I mean? I'm just a huge fanboy of ukulele. I love uke.
Yeah, but I think we all are, right? But then we actually do get to hang out with these people sometimes,
and it's awesome. I mean, Uncle Brian's whenever you're down on Oahu, we meet up at this place every whatever for lunch, and it's him, Uncle Benny, Dr. Yasui, all these guys, just come hang out with us. I'm that's gonna be the most I'm gonna be super anxious, about that lunch. I probably won't eat for the entire time. Actually, what to say, I'm I don't want to chime in. I just want to watch and listen to you guys talk because I might say something stupid and Dr. Yusu's are no, sit down and shut your mouth.
Go back to the kids'
table. Not even
like
that at all, but he's who brought this kid here? Who brought this kid to the table? He doesn't know anything. We all have doctorates in music here. No, sorry, I went to community college. But they're nice people. I'm
super
cool.
nice.
Cool. Yeah, very that time when we were cruising in Thailand with Uncle Benny, he's just just hit me up whenever. If you want to learn something, just ask.
Wait, when we talked to him in Nam, and we're oh yeah, we would love to do something. He was oh yeah, here's my number, and he was getting excited. We're
this time, but hit me up on this day, and blah 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 blah. We still gotta have him in. We've been talking about it for years, but we still gotta have him in and do stuff. He's super willing and ready to do it. But
explaining his ideas behind chords, jazz, right?
Yeah,
is that would be cool.
Pretty cool. Okay,
we do have some chats
from
chat
questions.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So an easy one is that a Kanilea E-Silk ukulele?
Ooh, yes it is. This is a Kanilea E-Silk ukulele. So silk, Kate. It's actually KPWP.
I think. Well, it's called that, but then they changed the name to E-Silk
afterwards. After this is made.
So what is the silk referring to?
Yeah, fun fact. So silk is actually what Joe Souza and I came up with when we were when we were thinking about the finishes and stuff when we were making the original Mary Jane, which is my original custom Kanilea ukulele. I liked what he did, to the neck, because with the neck, I told him I don't like it being too, having too heavy of a gloss or anything. But he's okay, well, we do UV, so the gloss won't be that, I won't be that thick anyway. I was okay, cool, but I just don't like that feel of, of gloss, on my, on my finger, especially on the neck, because I want the neck to move, So he's okay, I'll see what I can do. So he did a thing. He explained to me about tea tree oil and 450 or whatever, and just just kind of sand it down a little bit to to make it even less than what they had. So it's like the middle ground between between the UV finish and between satin finish. So satin was what they had, with the other one, which is like barely any finish, very like dry feeling and stuff. So it's like, okay, well, it's not necessarily satin. Let's call it silk, because it's
smooth.
It's smooth.
Yeah.
It's so we called it silk, and then we're just like, why don't we just put the thing that we do on the necks on the entire ukulele? Well, like, why don't we just do it for the whole thing?
That one specifically, we asked for that because with your other ukulele, it has a gloss finish. Yeah. And when we use the cameras, the lights get reflected off the gloss finish. So
yeah. So
this one that you're using right now.
Yeah. Because we were using my custom ukuleles back then, and I asked Joe, I was like, okay, well, the custom ukulele, while it's nice, while it sounds awesome and stuff, we need something for teaching. We need something, that has the dots, because we didn't have the dots in, and we need something that wasn't so reflective because of the cameras, for ukulele underground, I need a teaching ukulele is what we called it.
Yeah, and I think you asked him, like, can you not put any finish on it? And then he was like, "Oh, let me just put this finish on it at
so
least.
Let
me just put something on it."
So they weren't even making silk as a like a normal thing yet. So this is one of the first ones that they did the whole silk finish with. So then I asked for just like a regular ebony fingerboard with the dots, so that whenever I'm explaining things, people can kind of see the dots and use those as a reference whenever I'm teaching. So this was, my teaching ukulele, and I wanted just a really basic uke. So that when people watch, like the videos and stuff, they're not like, oh, well, it's probably his ukulele that's making him sound good. They're like, that's making him do all these things with his hands. It's because the uke's nice. That's why he can bend so high or whatever. It's because the uke's nice.
Still is a very nice.
Yeah, it is a nice uke. That's why he can play the E chords so easily. It's because his uke's nice. But it's like we wanted to take away that, like that whole intimidation of like my custom ukuleles.
I think like we also didn't want like when me and Aaron are shooting videos, it's like, oh, you can see our faces in the reflection of the ukulele. It's like
when we asked for that, that's kind of what we did. But that's basically what silk is. It's in the middle of satin and the UV finish. So it's not necessarily satin; it's more smooth like silk.
Yeah. So that's like a regular option that they have now?
Yes.
I think like the full ukulele, right?
Yeah.
Like I think before you could do it, but you'd have to go through their custom shop and order it.
Back then it was like, because if you look at my very first Mary Jane video where I kind of revealed that like, oh, here's my brand new custom ukulele from Kanilea, I talked about that like, oh, this neck feels so good or whatever. Like it's like the best feeling, neck or whatever that I've felt on an ukulele. And like that's kind of what we came up with, when Joe and I first started kind of collaborating into creating, what would be the Aldrin Guerrero model. And yeah, so we're still collaborating, today, and we're still trying to come up with some cool stuff that should be out soon, I guess. I don't know. We're doing something new for 2019 with Kanilea.
Yep.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to like hype people up. Like, watch out, it's coming, and it doesn't come. Like, the year next year.
We learned from our other projects, right? Like Solo Secrets, it's like it's coming,
it's coming,
and then it's like 6 months later. It's like I swear I'm working on it. I'm working really hard on it, but it just takes a long.
Yeah, time. I don't want to like build people up anymore, but hopefully next year.
Okay. Walter Anderson said, "What would you do technique-wise to make a simple song sound more interesting?"
Just adding techniques. Like it's in the question. Like add techniques to kind of do a simple song. So what I mean by that is, let's take it back to Mary Had a Little Lamb. If you have Mary Had a Little Lamb, and even then I'm like making it fancy by using some like vibrato and stuff, but techniques, you can do that. You can do that very same line, but maybe adding some like slides or some hammer-ons, some pull-offs. So you can definitely make something more fancy by adding fancy in there. Well, by just adding, like basic technique, really. You know, you're adding if I always tell people, think of, you know, like singing. Like if you're a singer, kind of doing, you know, you're doing your notes. So you can either sing it like, you can sing things like this, or you can slur some words and make some words more articulated. You know, like there's different ways of speaking. So that's just what, you know, that's what I do. Instead of going, I was like, okay, well, I'm going down. Maybe I can do pull-ups. And then I'm going to go back up. Maybe do hammer-ons. I'm going to go up again. Maybe slide it that time. So I have... It already sounds fancier than when I just had... But other things that I can, you know, that I can add, you know, I can add like bends and stuff that will make it extra fancy. I could add maybe some, you know, some nice voicings on the chords. Maybe I can even just add a simple harmony that will make it fancy. So instead of, I can add for harmony. That's already making it fancy. So that's another thing that, you know, that you can add. You can maybe add the full chord if you're, you know, if you're into that. You can, you know, you can do the full chord there to make it fancy. Once again, that's just like chord melody. Do that instead. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can make something sound fancier.
I think we talk about all those things in
101
or 102. I think
102?
Is more
Yeah.
where we, especially like harmonies and slides and picking and stuff. So and then so if they kind of just said simple song, but what if it's like a strumming song? Like for strumming, what would you add?
I would maybe change up the you know, like the rhythm of the strum and stuff. So if I'm doing just a strumming song without picking in it, for example, if I'm doing like Sunday morning, so maybe add some rolls. Maybe add like some syncopation. So it's, you know, I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just adding some syncopation in there, like, and kind of playing around with the rhythm. The rhythm is just a simple down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Maybe add a roll. You can add chunks in there if you want. Maybe some mutes. Maybe then add everything together with with the syncopation, the rolls, and the chunks. You know, you can make things kind of fancier just by adding some simple like embellishments. And all I'm doing is I'm playing around with the syncopation. I'm adding rolls. I'm adding chunks. Just some nothing too, you know, too advanced. Although it sounds like, oh man, he's doing something super fancy, but it's not really. It's just chunks, rolls.
And you can do that like one at a time. It's not like you have to go straight in for okay,
adding
I'm gonna
everything,
add both the roll and the chunk, and I'm gonna do so. Like I think like the starting level, right, is like that's why we tell people just do downs, just do down up, down up, down up. And for like a song like that, it would be like just do down up, down up, down up, down up, and
then add like the mutes.
Or you just go like down, down, up, down, up. Yep. You go to that strum, and then from there, you can go like down, chunk up, down, up. Right? It all builds. Like it's.
So the it's actually, you know, a good segue because next weekend we're going to Uktoberfest over in San Francisco, and one of my workshops is going to be an advanced techniques workshop. And last year I taught advanced techniques as in like, bends and pull-offs and hammer-ons and stuff. But this time I'm actually going to be doing more right-hand strumming advanced techniques, and we're going to be learning Dancing in the Moonlight. Because in Dancing in the Moonlight, we don't just go, we do although it sounds really like, really basic, really simple, there's actually a lot of rhythmic things and advanced things that are happening, with the right hand and the left hand together with mutes and stuff. So, we're doing muted rolls, we're doing like some syncopation in there, or like we're doing rolls with the chunks, and it's gonna be good fun. So I'm gonna be kind of explaining that, and then we'll go over the picking, which would be that. So we're gonna have good fun.
It's not next weekend, it's the weekend after
The
that.
weekend after,
Yeah.
sorry. The 27.
27th. Yeah.
27. Not next, but the next. Next
The
next week. Yeah, next.
Just
Okay.
next weekend.
Next week. Not next.
The 27th.
The 27th. It's coming. We're gonna be there. It's great. Go get your tickets, because I think there's still some tickets left. So get your tickets now over at sfuktoberfest.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
SF. That's in San Francisco. sfuktoberfest.com.
I think there's
another question.
There's
what?
I think there's multiple Uktoberfest, so like that's why you do SF. Yeah,
okay,
that's why it's important.
SF Uktoberfest.
I was gonna say I people like I think when people see you do strumming like that, like your right hand techniques are like it is pretty intricate, but then they ask like, oh, like how did you even come up with that strumming in the first place? Like how would you think of that? And it's like
drums. Yeah, listen to the drums.
You listen to the original song, right? Or you listen to what you want the song to sound like. So like I know for one of our classes or one of our lessons, it's Stand By Me, right? And it really is that bass part, like you're recreating the because that's what people know. And same for like Dancing in the Moonlight. It might not it might not be something that like if they just heard that they would be like, oh, Dancing in the Moonlight. But it definitely is like it comes off as like, oh, you're trying to play Dancing in the Moonlight.
Well, so here's a little bit of a deeper look into that. When we're doing something like Stand By Me, so the bass line is dun 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 dun, like no ghost notes. Like that's just just the bass line. So what we do is we not only just take a listen to the bass line, but we take a look at what everything else is doing in the song. So with Stand By Me, there's like a hi-hat, a hi-hat step. So when you step on the hi-hat, it goes, that makes that sound. So it goes, dun, 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 because there's a hi-hat that you're doing. So what we're doing is we're doing, embellishments on the ukulele that will kind of imitate those things that we hear. So we have the rhythm pattern of bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. So if we're just following the rhythm pattern of the bass alone, it's going to be kind of boring. So bum, bum, boom, dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum. But what about the things in the middle? What about that hi-hat thing that I'm talking about? That's when that rolls come in and, the embellishments. So bum, bum, da-dum, bum, dum, da-da, bum, dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. So those are like kind of, embellishments from the drums. Since we're playing the, the bass line, there's a bass line in the drums that's kind of going on. There's kind of a rhythm pattern that's going on in that song. So we want to be able to, take all the elements that we hear with our ears and present them with our ukulele, because the ukulele is such a high sounding instrument. We don't have bass we don't have kind of any percussion
That's
thing to back us up. So that's how we do it all with the youth.
Yeah, and I think that's like one of the most under or people don't really practice it is like active listening to other instruments, right? Like, and that's definitely what you wanna if you wanna be a musician that like can kind of fill out an entire song.
Yeah.
Like you definitely want to hear the original song and hear all the different parts that are going on in it.
And and when we play and stuff, like we just played last night, and I was talking to some of the people in the audience, and just like it's it's kind of crazy like how you guys take these songs and stuff and reinterpret them with the ukulele and the guitar, but then like do it in this way where it sounds kind of full. And then that's kind of how I would explain things and how it sounds full, quote unquote, is because we're trying to not just play one instrument, but trying to cover for multiple instruments in an arrangement. I'm trying to be the the drummer, and trying to be the the instrumentalist, or at the same time. Like Aaron is trying to be the bass player and the guitar player at the same time. There are multiple things that we're doing with our instruments to make it sound the way.
Because like if you're playing with a full band, you would actually like probably
play
back.
less.
Yeah,
play less.
Like you feel like, oh, I don't need to play all this rhythmic patterns and
it is super weird. Whenever I'm playing with with drums and stuff, I always have to kind of tell myself to hold back a little bit. So it's almost like I feel I play better with less people. Because I get to do all the cool little embellishments, and people will see that and I'm like, oh, that sounds great. But when I have drums and I'm doing all this, people won't hear it anyway, so it just looks like me just doing crazy things in the ukulele, but no one really hears it. So,
well, you want if you're playing with other people, you want to fit like whatever position you're kind of playing, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. Next question.
Well, Dwayne said, "Hey, Aldrin, I've been working on my soloing.
Hey, Dwayne.
And I'm going to a Uktoberfest.
Okay.
If you're not busy, could we jam for a song or two?"
Yeah, no problem. Just take me on the side and stuff. Be like, hey, you said we would jam.
I think.
And then I would be like, okay, you said one or two songs. And then I'm gonna
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh, Dwayne the Rock. What's up, Dwayne? Of course, me and you can jam a few songs. Dwayne.
I didn't see that the rest of his username.
Yeah, Dwayne the Rock.
I only saw Dwayne
Johnson.
So I thought it was
my Via. Thought you were Rocky My Via.
Yeah.
Deep pull, guys. This 90s wrestling. He left the Nation of Domination and just became The Rock. Like, what? Calling people jabronis.
I like when you start talking about wrestling, because usually if you talk about video games or other stuff, I'm like, yeah, I can talk about this. I can throw out some deep cuts too. We were talking about Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And I was throwing out some stuff. But then once you talk about wrestling, I'm just like
neither you or Aaron can chime in, and it's just me like, man, I wish Mike were here. Mike was here.
Mike,
that's it. Sorry.
That just leaves me like putting my hands up, like, man, why is Mike not always here? He's like the fourth Beatle of yeah.
Mike could do a podcast about wrestling if he wanted to.
Just Mike by himself. Oh man.
I think Mike could do like a simultaneous podcast about wrestling and music theory.
I'll listen to that. I'll listen to Mike.
I was like, oh man.
Magic Mike. We need to get him. We haven't had him for this month, have we? So we need to get him in.
I don't know.
We probably won't then.
I think
gone.
Yeah, and I think we also like the last time we had him in for like a couple weeks, right? I think because Aaron wasn't here too, so. But we will get him back in.
Yes, we will.
You guys should just do the podcast. You and Mike, Kahai and Mike show while we're gone.
Well, we're not here next week, right?
Nope.
Okay.
You guys are leaving that day, I think. Yeah.
Oh, Thursday. Yeah, I guess so. I'm leaving I think at 10 in the morning or something. Yeah, so unfortunately next week there's not going to be a Thursday live lesson. There's not going to be a Songs Made Easy, and there's also not going to be a Friday live jam. For 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. But I think the week after that, on the 25th, we'll have a very special podcast. So we will fly back just to do that one. I'll be wearing the same shirt. And and then we'll fly back out to San Francisco, and then
I think
do the show.
Yeah, no, we're doing it from San Francisco,
yeah,
right?
there you go. Yeah, we brought the high with us.
But it looks exactly like here. Like we recreated the set one for one in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. Because it's just a white set, right? Like a white background. That's what yeah, we're not what we did. We're about to do. So we're going to do. What do you mean, Kai? What do you mean? We didn't do it yet.
Is it a white background or is it a green background that just looks
that
white?
We just turned white. That's why I don't wear green shirts anymore.
Yeah. I like whenever people come here and they're like, "Oh, it is just a white background."
I like when people come here. It's like this. Where's the rest of it? Where's the rest of Ukulele Underground? Like this is Ukulele Underground.
That's what people think, right? Like,
yeah.
What do you mean? It's just the four of you. It's like, well, it's not just the four of us. It's five of us.
Yeah, one's not here.
Yeah, one's working remotely. But don't worry about it.
It's all good. It's all good. We put out some quality content, Kai, and that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. It's what we put out.
Are we gonna announce the winner for the contest?
Yes, we should definitely do that. So do you have the names of the people and stuff?
I have the names. I'm sorry, I forgot to set it up they can see the names and everything. But give me a sec to put the list.
Okay, yeah. So
we'll
let's just Kahai's gonna go do that, and me and Aaron will talk ukulele. So Aaron, when you were starting up your ukulele, what kind of strings did you have on there?
Wait, what?
What kind of strings do you have when you used to be an ukulele player? You said, right? Like you used to play ukulele for your band. We talked about it here on Thursday Live Lesson and stuff. What kind of strings did you have when you're uke? And what kind of uke did you have?
I don't know. What
kind of ukulele?
Ukulele was like super long. Like I didn't play ukulele for the band.
Oh, you played guitar.
Yeah, I was playing guitar, but
you had an applause guitar. Right? You even have an ovation. You had an applause guitar, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I had an ovation guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was but for when we first started learning, it was just that like my auntie's kamaka that I used, and it was the strings that came with it from the 1970s. You know, yeah.
Because I say this because I went to Kawaii Music and Sounds, this past week.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the string selections, and I was talking to Mike. I was like, man, there's a lot of string selections and stuff now. And he asked me, it's like, well, what did you use, back in the day? And I told him Martin strings and stuff. It's like, oh, we still have those, but like not a lot of people buy those. I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, you guys should, push this a little bit more because these strings actually sound really good, and no one really talks about it. It's like
Martin was clear.
Yeah. Martin Clears, and if I didn't have the AG Cross AQ, if they didn't have the Diodarios and Savarez, that would be my fourth choice, I think, because I think that the sound that comes out is nice and clear. It's made of fluorocarbons, got good material, and it's like the tension on it is not bad. I definitely couldn't be banging it the way that I do now, but I think for just like a regular soprano ukulele or a concert ukulele, I would go with those Martin strings, and that's why I asked, because there wasn't a lot of people that were using them back then, and there's not a lot of people using them now, and I think that more people should know about them because it's widely available. Because Martin is such a big company that like those strings are going to be there. If you go to say, what's a big music
like
store?
A Guitar Center,
like a guitar, yeah. If you go to Guitar Center and stuff, and you ask for like like AG Cross AQ strings or whatever string, they might not have it, but 9 out of 10, I think stores are gonna have like Martin ukulele strings. If you don't have any access to any of the other ones, Martin's a great choice.
They really changed their packaging.
Yeah, they did. And this is not like hashtag ad, like no one's paying me to say these things, because I know it sounds like this is coming out of nowhere. And I have an ukulele pack myself, like these AG strings are my own creation. But I'm just saying, if I didn't have them, if I didn't have the other ones, Martin, because I had that conversation with Mike over at the store and stuff, and so he was kind of surprised because he said that no one's ever mentioned, Martin's being good or not. Like people who do pick them up are like guitarists that like will pick up Martin strings because that's kind of what they trust, So ukulele players don't really seek them out, but I like them. I've liked them since I was in 10th grade in high school, and Mike showed me an ukulele that was strung up with them. I'm like, they feel pretty much the same and they sound great. They sound better than, say, like GHS strings. So GHS strings are the ones that they use for like kamaka and stuff. The plastic seems a little bit too dead and heavy for me. And that's kind of why I switched over to Martin back then, because GHS just wasn't giving me the tone that I want, or like that kind of
the black strings.
Yeah, the black strings. It just sounded kind of dead. It was too warm. Not maybe warm is not the word and stuff. It's just
GHS in general are pretty bright. Like I know their
Yeah.
guitar
They have
strings
different
are bright.
types now.
Oh, yeah, of
so-
course. But yeah, like back then, I haven't tried GHS since, honestly. So I don't. They might be good. I know Craig and Sarah has like a set and stuff. I've played their ukes with that set on, and it sounds good on their ukes. But I kind of need, a controlled.
I like I use GHS for like some of my guitars, but it definitely is like something where it's like for this guitar, not for this guitar, or like, and I think if their guitar strings are to say anything, it's like maybe not. I can see where you'd say like it can be like a little dead, or like it can be
doesn't stand
too
out.
bright.
Yeah, I don't know, but it sounds good. I mean, to me, it sounds good. I used to like Worth clears and stuff. I don't know, maybe I'm just a sucker for like clear strings, but those were okay, but I feel like they were a bit thin. So they kind of sound like Worth clears, but a little bit thicker.
When I know like a common thing that people ask you is like, they go, why does my strings have a squeaky sound? And that comes a lot from that, like the Nowgut or like the Diodario.
It's kind of dry, so it's like it'll feel dry. So when you when you move your fingers, the oil in your fingers and the sweat and stuff is gonna go on it. It's gonna squeak because the string itself is dry, whereas your fingers are moist.
And that's that Diodario, the white strings, where it like I know like when I worked at a ukulele shop, like. There's like powder on the Diodario, or not Diodario, I'm sorry, Aquila strings. Yeah, like we would get like whole, like big packs of them, and it would just be kind of like dusty, and.
But that's like the powder that they put on top.
Yeah, so there definitely is something.
It might just come from the strings.
And the factory too, or something. There is definitely something.
There.
Yeah. And I think the clear strings don't really have that usually, right?
No, I mean the AQ strings are kind of are the clear strings and stuff, and they don't have any kind of residue like on them.
Yeah,
they feel great. I mean, these are still my choice of strings and stuff.
And those are just nylon, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the packaging for Martin.
Is that white
since
one?
we've had it? No, they went really islandy.
Oh yeah, that is a white one. I guess it's greenish, like.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
don't they?
That looks super different now.
It's like really islandy. They went with like hibiscus and palm trees and stuff.
Back then, it was like kind of that like square packaging, like that carton kind of packaging.
Yeah, I remember. That's the one that I kind of remember. Yeah. Like the classic. It kind of sort of resembles the Martin guitar string kind of set.
Yeah.
Something that I've liked
they kind of went different.
Something that I like that string makers or string packagers, whatever, do now is that they'll vacuum seal their packs. Because I used to buy strings, and if you buy like a wound string pack for ukulele here, you can get a rusty wound low G string, and it's like,
it'll oxidize.
What the heck? Like, oh man, I just like, this is brand new, right? It's like, oh man.
Yeah, that's like, I guess it's more for guitar strings, right? Yeah. But would that like do it for the aluminum wound too, you think?
Yeah, for ukulele, the aluminum wound. Usually they come in like these kind of paper packages. So
the air will get
so inside. Sometimes you'll like look at the paper and you can kind of see the rust on the paper already.
That's right.
It's like,
depends how old it is.
Yeah. So it could be like, brand new in the store, but it was just sitting on the shelf for 2 months and like,
Okay, how did you get the list?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's do this. Okay. Enough singing praises about like Martin and stuff. It's just like a random conversation that I had with Mike. It's like, why don't people talk about this more?
I like PhD strings.
PhD strings are great. Love PhD strings.
That's
friend of the show.
That's what I use for my low G. It's an unwound low G.
Yeah, we were just talking about Daniel Ho. Yeah. So.
Daniel Ho and Jason Arimoto.
Yeah.
Those are their
friends of the show.
Yep.
Friends of the show.
Okay. But not sponsors. So.
So no ad. It's not an ad. We just like these things, okay?
We just like
I spun the wheel. So
okay. You pre-spun it?
Well, when you said so
Oh, okay. Well, so we have a winner already.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to surprise. Can I still do the thing?
Drum roll, yeah.
Yeah,
go
okay,
ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
And our winner is
Just
Anne.
yeah. Well, usually we put the first letter of their last name.
What's the letter of their last name? What's the first letter of their last name?
I don't know.
Didn't put it. That's why
she
it's not on there.
Anne.
Or because what is it called? This is our UU Plus members, yeah. So we have
I see.
there's only one Anne, and if you're Anne and you entered in the contest, you won, and we'll let you know too.
Yeah, Anne. Yeah, yay! What did Anne win? Anne won a Ola Ka'aina CD, and she also won. I'm guessing it's a she.
I think so.
Eat Sleep Music Sessions from the K-Town Heroes. You'll win these 2 CDs alongside a button and sticker, Aldi Club. So congratulations! This is the this kind of the exclusive prize for UU Plus members. This Eat Sleep Music Session. This wasn't offered to the Aloha Friday Live Jam people, so that's just for you guys.
You'll sign it too, right? Like if she wants it.
If she wants it, if she wants to ruin the CD, sure, I'll sign it, I guess. Which one? This one or both?
No.
Have her specify.
Yeah, I'll contact her. We'll find out.
Yeah. All right. So, any last minute business before we go?
I think that's it. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, if nothing else, we'll see you guys. Stick around after the show. We have Songs Made Easy. We are going to be doing Fallen by Alicia Keys. So if you guys like 3/4 tunes or like a nice classic waltz feel, check out Songs Made Easy after this. And after that, we have one-on-one coaching exclusively for all of you awesome UU Plus members. Thank you so much for downloading this as a podcast. If you're listening to us, thanks for watching. For all of you UU Plus subscribers, mahalo, and I will see you guys next time. Aloha.
We're not back next week.
Next time, yeah. So next time. See you next time.
So, yeah.
November 1st.
Or the 25th.
Yes, that's right. That's when we teleport back here.
Special San Francisco
episode
that looks exactly like this one.
Yeah, it looked exactly with the same shirts and stuff. Probably the same kind of audio setup. We'll try to keep things consistent for you guys.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll see you next time. Aloha.